Oh, matter of fact, oh, so it cut that video, so it's gonna have to be a two-part video. But I was last on this video. Matter of fact, which last video, this is the same video as the first part in essence. Well, I was just talking about how they had the serious light fixture fall within the Truman Show. Matter of fact, and this was kind of like at the beginning, one of the earliest stages, kind of like foreshadowing the earlier, of things to expose themselves even more, and like you had government agents or people who like actually work behind the scenes with the show, so not like just the actors, because again, some of these actors could go astray and be trying to tell Truman what's really going on. Again, like some of us actors in this Matrix movie right now, that's like, hey y'all, we acted in the movie, wake up, you know what I'm saying? Like, so literally paralleling that, aspect, but people who work for the show, who socially engineering him, asking questions, seeing what he's doing, then create manipulative scenarios based on that. So you see, again, like, matter of fact, when his friend come, like, his friend not only coaxing him and calming him down, but also like, yeah, what's on your mind, man, this and that, like, so so he could express. Because I mean, now again, in the movie, of course, like as he's speaking, everybody watching, so the writer could be like, all right, I see. But even if it wasn't like that, as the fake friend, the actor, talking to him, like, what you taking in that information, you go back to the studio and like, yeah, Truman want to do this and want to do that. But again, you don't have to be a direct messenger. All he have to do is just basically poke at him and just provoke the questions, and as he answering them, the whole world in the studio, or the writer of the show, the person who directed the show, could hear it and know, like, all right, since he trying to, again, like, since they find out he trying to find his father and trying to go at sea, we gonna discourage him. We gonna play a radio show that talk about being at home, and a TV show that talk about loving your family and this and that. And then we gonna make the bus break down when he go to, just all these different things, and then let's see. In the moon, you got basically like the moon foreshadowing at the beginning of the film. As a matter of fact, I have to go back to that thought. But when the moon first comes up, he gets in his emotions about his dad. Also because they put a boat in his path, yeah, because he. It was a moonlit night, you know what I'm saying? And he, and two, indirectly, they showing you the sauce, like what he in his emotions when the moon out. It wasn't no, again, people who make movies is not, there's no coincidence to how they setting these things up. But again, when the moon first came up, he all in his emotions about his dad, and also because, they put the little boat in the water where he was going, like, hey, he about to walk to the dock, go put the boat out there. And that's how that, how that worked. And it, again, social engineering, it's like, oh. And two, when they put the boat out there and he see the boat and getting his feelings, they also get a confirmation of like, all right, we know that our programming still work. Our MK Ultra mind programming still work. So if we show him a boat, or something that's gonna make him scared, or make him go into a thought about his dad, and he's gonna be vulnerable, and we could introduce him to drugs or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, that's how they do the social engineering around. Again, and back to the vibe of what I talked about earlier, where his wife was like, again, trying to program us as the viewer, programming Truman. But also, because you are initiated, you're being initiated to a situation, and you're being programmed as well. So it's more so from the program aspect and not the initiate. but you know you're being programmed. So his wife is like, oh yeah, but what about the mortgage and the car payment, you know, and all the financial obligations, you know, you're not obligated to none of that shit. And that's what, again, that's where they trying to pray at your soul, you know what I'm saying? Whereas these little subtleties going and getting programmed into your subconscious, taking you away from you know, being the true soulful being that you are, you know, the true soul that you are, you know, the universe on the human experience that we all are, you know, which all of us aren't, but that's different knowledge for different times. But you know, again, pushing that cookie cutter lifestyle, you know, get a job, pay your mortgage, you know, instead of like, hey, you know, go, you know, you should expand. Life is about expansion. Go and be free, you know. In which, you know, of course, in that movie, they wouldn't, because, you know, the movie is made to be about boxing you in. You know what I'm saying? But that's all they trying to do is box in your consciousness. Like, controlled environment. That's another thing, indirectly speaking, you know, kind of like how I talk about like a garden. How if they got like just somebody doing some garden work in a movie, or they show a garden a lot in the movie. The garden symbology is a symbol of taming nature. You know what I'm saying? But them constantly, you know, showing this firmament and showing, you know, this situation where, you know, this whole thing is boxed in, again, is, you know, reinforcing you to, you know, to accept being boxed in some way, form, or fashion. Amongst other things, you know, boxing in your consciousness. You know, let's see. Yeah, let you just stay regular, like literally. Again, some of the subconscious program be a little too overt. You know, where, like, what's funny is like, well, it literally seems like her words hop from going towards Truman and just directly towards you as a viewer. You like, God damn, it just seemed eerily, like they eerily speaking to me as a viewer as well. Like, of course, I'm watching this movie called The Truman Show, and of course, they are talking to Truman, but, you know, God damn, like, you know, some of the subliminals are so kind of like over, like hint, suggesty that, you know, it's like, if you just a little aware of, you know, how our subconscious could be programmed. Like if you took a minor in psychology or sociology, you know, or something of this nature, you could just kind of get like the little tiny glimpses, you know, at the least, of just how obvious it is. But yeah, it's like, let's just stay regular and have kids, and you know, you can't run from plain life, you know, basically like kill the imagination. You know, so that's another thing. It was kind of, you know, like stay in this cookie cutter way of, you know, doing things. You know, don't expand. You know, look, you know, let's start a little family and this and that. You know, and again, that's not knocking the family structure, but not the family structure again in an Americanized corporation, because America ain't nothing but a big corporation. You know, even down to my brethren speaking. You know, again, kind of tapping into some other information, but like about with us having to pay property tax in America, you know, and you don't have to, but by them trying to force us to pay property tax on property, it's basically like, so you buy out some land, but then ever so often you paying property tax. So it's like basically like where you own your land, but then you really don't own it because they're still trying to have you pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, literally, like, you know, again, from that perspective, it's like, you know, you don't own your land. I don't want to say that we don't, because we can own land. You know, we will and are owning land, but from that aspect of it, yeah, it's like they create that little situation so you're not necessarily, you know, owning the land, you know. But again, we're not trying to, and yeah, we dealing with family, you know, and the vibes on that nature, but again, not in this Americanized business level, taking us away from our, you know, true higher intelligence, you know. You know, we are beings of a higher intelligence that know we can exist on a level without all these little, you know, situations, without overly using computers and you know, without having to have mortgage and a house and this and that. Like, we know better than that. But again, if we don't go back and research and know what's been going on before, then we don't know that we're being programming into. We don't know that we're being programmed to not be ourselves right now. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, that was another thing too. Crack down on homeless. So let's see. So like one of the newspapers, you know, the thing had a little title, like one of the little things, the newspaper titles or whatever, like the crack down on homelessness or something like that, you know. But again, kind of like just all these little reinforcement. They got it all over LA itself, you know. I done did little short videos on that before, like matter of fact, or like the big billboard in Hollywood off of Selma Street. The street name is Selma, correlating with Selma, like with Martin Luther King. But it was a sign off of Selma Street, not far from the CNN building. You know, some people who claim, like CNN, you know, they know of all kind. They research stuff. They should know of Supreme Court cases and stuff like that. Know of Dr. Sebi case of him curing AIDS and cancer. So why is it a billboard in LA at one time that said HIV is a civil rights problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of trying to construct you. You know what I'm saying? The book Cyclomancy speak at the beginning on how disease, like everything is of the mind, like point blank period. And they basically speak to two situations where the government realized it and acknowledged it, like, all right, yeah, like the mind controlling these situations. So now that we know this, we're going to operate like this, you know. So again, but another thing, oh, that was a little subliminal I was going to talk about earlier, where like when he was chasing his dad down, and like, oh man, I saw dad, and you know, and he was like, well, yeah, it could have been a homeless person or something like that. And she was like, oh yeah, but it's a good thing that they it's about time they clean up the trash downtown before we become like the rest of the country, you know. So basically like downing in which it has another subtle programming that I'm not picking up on right now as I'm saying it. That's funny how I know it's more to that statement than her, you know, than what I'm explaining. But in this moment, I'm not yeah. But yeah, that was matter of fact. But that was like earlier when he first saw his dad, and then he was trying to think about, you know, going out somewhere, you know, to go expand, not say expand, to explore in essence. You know, he's tired of the same cookie cutter life, you know. And speaking of that too, like the programming of like even his, like all throughout his life, his high school dance, you know, like how he ended up with the, you know, because everybody acting, you know, he was trying to get to the chick that was always trying to, you know, wake him up in essence, you know. And I guess you could see her character personified as the feminine energy within all of us that's trying to, you know, wake us up. Like, hey, you know, forget this super logical over this coldly objective type of little world that they created and got you in. You know, like Truman, you in a show, like you know, it's more to life than what it is, you know. Like, so you can see her character as a personification of that feminine energy, you know, waking us up. But again, they personified as a hindrance, you know, like this woman is a hindrance, you know. And matter of fact, and he tried, you know, multiple times connecting with her. Even one time where he connected with her on the beach, you know, by the water, you know, because that's another thing too, like, let's go by the water, you know. Again, showing them like, you know, getting closer to the water. But then Matter of fact, yeah, that aspect was saying like, you know, the personification of meeting her by the beach was like, yeah, you're getting closer to, you know, opening up this subconscious truths and stuff like this. But then one of the, again, like the people who work not just a paid actor, but somebody who really worked for, you know, the set, you know, for the behind the scenes of the whole operation of the show. He come in as her dad, like, oh, she's tripping and this and that, like, I'm gonna take her away, this and that, like, and she like, no, he's not even my dad, bro, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and these how some of these things can unfold. You think about like how they show, you know, people, you know, exposing conspiracies and stuff, like, oh, you know, these people trying to kill me or this and that, like, but, you know, it's so set up to where, you know, it's like, well, you know, I can't rationally say that because, you know, I don't really, you know, the evidence is not blaringly obvious, you know. So that's that situation that they create with that, you know. But, you know, again, her character representing that feminine part of the consciousness, you know, trying to wake them up, you know, constantly within the movie. Because, you know, it was more than one time that she actually tried. One time within the library. As a matter of fact, and then one time he was going to try to connect with her at a dance. But then that's when, you know, again, they pulled her away. And then somehow the woman who they wanted to be his wife, you know, they, like, you know, hey, go stumble upon him and this and that. Like, and then she go act like, oh, I'm goofy and this and that, and fall on him. And, you know, next thing you know, you see that's who he end up marrying. Seeing that, again, all these synchronicities and coincidences was more set up than something of the divine, you know what I'm saying? And that's, again, also leaking a little sauce on us, exposing us to the vibe of questioning all our reality, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like question every, you know, every aspect of it. Now, not getting lost in your mind questioning shit, you know what I'm saying? But, like, just not believing in any and everything that's, you know, when it's first presented to you, you know, it's like, you know, it's a certain phrase for that vibe, you know, it's like, you know, you're not treating everything like a conspiracy and walking around like, I bet you that's a conspiracy, I bet you that's a conspiracy, but you're just open to the fact that, hey, you know, just view it for what it, you know, view it for what it truly, observe the situations without allowing yourself to get too, you know, involved in it. Allow for yourself to just always be able to observe, you know what I'm saying? But and then again, I spoke to the constant slip-ups, purposely or unpurposely. That's another thing too, to make the show, you know, oh man, to make the show good, you know, like they because again, how a serial killer, you know, to get that little thrill, you know, a serial killer might let the girl or the dude or whatever, you know, run away a little bit, you know, just for the thrill of that chase, you know. And you could kind of see that personified in them, you know, kind of slipping up or having these moments of where it may seem like they purposely was exposing them to, you know, certain information, but it was done in such a manner that, you know, leaves us as the viewer, like, matter of fact, kind of like the initiate, again, like where you're being initiated to see how, you know, these people setting up all these different things, and sometimes that they actually slip up with setting up these things, you know, as well. So kind of, you know, again, exposing their realm. And just like Eyes Wide Shut, where it was an act being displayed by all, most, you know, matter of fact, let's see. I kind of spoke to this a little bit before, you know, but you know, like all the people that Tom Cruise character dealt with, you know, was basically, you know, an act. You know, and when you're watching it, though, you don't really, you know, catch the vibe. Because when I first was watching Eyes Wide Shut, you know, like, you have to watch it again to really see, like, oh, shit, you know, like, that brethren was really hinting towards this when he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to see those subtleties. But, like, Eyes Wide Shut, I ain't gonna lie, Stanley Kubrick, you start to see why, like, oh, this person is genius. I can't say honestly though, the way Eyes Wide Shut set up, it has a very genius vibe to it. Again, I'm not biased. I call I always joke about. I'm like the motherfuckers who trying to oppress us. They definitely, definitely got their plan together. they was definitely working hard, on that situation. Kudos to them for being the pressure that makes a diamond out of me. You know, but again, Tom Cruise going through a revolving door symbolizes being in the know a little more. Wait, going through. I'm trying to think because it's more to that of what I was mess up on my own notes. Apologies, y'all, if I don't reiterate that in a much more fluent fashion. Know a little more, but I guess not actually. Oh, that's why I said that. Because I think maybe in certain aspects of the movie, I don't remember I don't know too much of the Matrix, but I think it was a part in the Truman Show where, right after kind of being, exposed to a little bit more, he was actually like they showed him going through a revolving door at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just had just a symbolic essence to it, and that's what I felt like. It was just kind of like the revolving door symbolizing, kind of being in the know a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because his character was, like, all right, I see something going on around me. Kind of getting to that state. But, and then towards the end again, and that's the thing. So he got to a place where he was like, man, fuck that shit. So he played the game. He knew, indirectly he was on a TV show. Like, basically, again, like finding out. So it's like, all right, I know how to play it now. And so they thought he was sleeping the whole time, but that whole time he done, had something in his place, and the director like, bro, where yet? And then showing you how they manipulate the situation. Tell somebody to call him right now, and then they showed the phone ringing on the screen. And then he hit up one of the actors. Go check on him, and then what the actor do? He grabs some beers and he going in there with the beers. Advice, hey friend, let's drink a beer and keep you programmed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that vibe. And again, as I'm saying these things, you are being initiated by, having these realizations, because now you won't, like, when somebody come around, and that's, go check out my video about, like, well, we create the agents in essence and stuff like that, because, it may not necessarily be an agent as much as you just know agent behavior, and when somebody participates in it, they may come off as something that's, trying to play with you or socially engineer you. So like if you got a partner that, only come around like, oh man, got the weed, and it's probably always around times whenever you was about to write a book or read or do something, productive, then the person with the device come around like, you might think like, damn, this person really trying to, it's like, nah, it's just, the way things working for you. You might be on that part of your growth too, where you like having to learn how to say no to vices, so it's making it pop up at a time when you trying to step up to the plate, and allowing for you to like really step up to the plate and be like, oh well, nah, I'm straight, whatever the case may be. But so he really, got the vibe to like, well, fuck this, I'm about to go out into the ocean, and go out into those waters. So he finally, went into those subconscious waters, and matter of fact, and showing how, like, again, like programming, where the writer or the director of the show, he like turn the waves up, and make it rain, basically trying to fuck over Truman. And even some of the people in the studio like, man, you probably gonna kill him. And he was like, they watched him be born on this show, they could watch him die on this show, you know what I'm saying? But, and then you start to see like that vibe of that co-objective scientist that America is in essence, this big Skinner box that America is, and not giving a fuck about the experiment that they running on everybody, you know what I'm saying? Where he like, again, turn this up, turn the lightning up, like all that shit, just basically like, cause first he was just trying to subtly, scare him, like, well, just make it rain and stuff like that. And then, cause again, and you see the personification of Truman on the show, a Jim Carrey character, where it's like singing, like knowing he on camera, like, you're not stopping me, and kind of acting crazy, like full speed ahead, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, like, motherfucker, I know that, y'all, and I'm not going nowhere. Like, and basically, and even when they got to when they stepped up a level, and two, showing us again our spiritual growth, and like how we should know that we are so, like, again, we not just in this little bubble of the Truman Show, we more than that, because he was like, motherfuckers, you could kill me, or quote unquote kill, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know better. I'm not going back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I know my existence, my true existence is not being in this bubble in this show, Because matter of fact, and two, thinking about towards the end, where he finally reached, the firmament, where the boat floated to where it actually like touched the actual firmament that was painted as a sky, you know what I'm saying? You got to really see like all right, damn, it's for sure true, because again, with some things we had these realizations. I think of my DMT trip where I got exposed to that, we are in some type of little bubble or something, you know what I'm saying? And not really allowed to just kind of leave like that, you know what I'm saying? Well, part of us are, here by, like kind of like on the schooling in essence, but kind of like partly trapped here to a certain extent as well. But again, but you're not trapped. You can get out, but again, the illusion of being trapped, but more so in this, in this plain existence. But long story short, like, again, showing like steps of consciousness, At first he didn't have no clue of nothing. Then, he gets exposed to a little bit, and then, and then from there it's like, all right, I want to look for more, and expand more. Then he got to a place of, again, programming his subconscious to get over the fear of water, or of the subconscious mind, which would personify, but does it say for, getting over the fear of water so he could, explore, and get out of that cookie cutter lifestyle, and see more to life, you know what I'm saying, or see a deeper aspect of life. But in matter of fact, his boat was named Santa Maria, where another little vibe again, where not only the female trying to save him, in the water, being able to go on the water in essence is what saved him, but also the boat that he was in, or the vessel, the ship, the mothership, he was in the mothership, Saint Mary, Santa Maria, the mother, it almost kind of could be seen as somewhat of the Christ energy out of, and again, just that indirect symbol of, again, that energy being that feminine energy, that feminine vessel, taking them deeper into that self-realization, taking them deeper into the, into the unknown, But yeah, it's definitely again, personification of the feminine energy or intuition guiding him to the unknown, so that's kind of what the boat mimic. And then once he get to the end, and that's when the quote, and you see this happen for us, like, so all of a sudden this guy that was didn't give a fuck about killing them, been having them boxed in this little box, lying to him just for the sake of this, this show, like, for the sake of this beautiful show, I had to, do this to you, and then towards the end, you seeing like once this person get caught up, You know, it's like somewhat like the Wizard of Oz vibe too. You know, with the man getting exposed from behind the mirror thing. But like, but now it's like, oh, you know, kind of just speaking like, oh, almost like I love you, Truman. Like, you know, I care for you type of vibe. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like how this country does or tries to do with, you know, when a person waking up to information or this and that. Well, no, you know, like we trying to do this for you and we working to do that, and you know we love you. Because another thing he was trying to talk them into is like, stay, Truman. Like this is your life I created for you. But he's like, let's see, he talked with the creator at the end. So yeah, the talk with the creator too at the end also symbolized like the quote unquote afterlife. You know what I'm saying? Because like, all right, he done transcended, you know, that cookie cutter lifestyle, being in this act, you know, in his show. You know, he done transcended his show, you know, or this realm of reality. You know, the Truman Show, aka our earthly experience, or this mama matrix. You know. So yeah, the creator starts to talk, and basically like the Truman starts to have this vibe of like, well, you know, like, well, who am I? You know, once he hear a voice, he's like, who am I? Why am I here? You know, and that's when he starts to get the rundown about, yeah, man, we've been watching you since a little baby. You know, we constructed every little aspect of everything. And he's like, you know, and so he's like, so all this was fake. And then the creator was, no, it was not fake. He was like, look at the emotions and stuff you had. They were all true and real, you know. Kind of like the story, again, of us being here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because like right now, you know, experiencing different feelings I have. Like, you know, I'm happy right now doing this video, this and that. Like, but this don't mean because I'm happy or doing this video or this and that this is the real realm of my existence. You know, I am God on a human experience. You know, so they was hinting towards that as well. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, these emotions you felt was real. You know, even though these were actors, you know, in this little movie message. You know, yeah. Matter of fact, go check out my video that talk about not getting Chuck E. Cheese with the lights cut off. I think if you type in universal frequencies and Chuck E. Cheese, it'll take you to that video. But anyway, because matter of fact, my brethren also bring up told me about this vibe that this show Westwood got. I gotta watch that show. But anyway, like again, it was like, yeah, you know, yeah, these was actors and stuff like that, but the experiences you felt real sadness and real happiness. And you know, I remember, and then he started reminiscing on some. I almost wanted to slap that brethren through the fucking TV, through the movie screen. I like, bitch, quit friendly bobbing with that man. Now they done found you out on some shit, you know. And again, that's how a certain God over this realm may be, you know, like, well, it's, and don't you love the lessons you learned and this and that? And don't you want to stay in this show? Nah, bro. Hot Will Smith. Deuces. Deuces. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Fuck your TV show. It was I guess because I went through it or whatever. Hey, learning experience. Whoop-de-woo, woo-woo. But I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a little sauce leaked in that area again. Where you got the programming, you know, but there's also a little sauce in this as well. You know, as far that may help you again when you knowing what's programming, you know, and how they trying to program you in a negative manner. You know, you could see the positive aspects or things you could pull out that's beneficial from what they exposing you to. It's like, yeah, this world I created for you, this world I created for you as just as real as what's out there, you know? So it's like, yeah, look at all your emotions, this and that. This world, this mama matrix, you know, or this Truman Show I created for you, you know, it's just as real as all these these outside aspects, you know? And then basically like, in my world, you have nothing to fear. That's another thing that's being pushed. And I was watching something else. What movie or what I was watching that was always trying to get somebody to get rid of their fears. There's something with some demons. Some type of anime I was watching recently. Oh, I think it was what that was, Soul Eater. And which I ain't did a video on that. I gotta do a video on Soul Eater. But like how they indirectly trying to promote this thing of, you know, no fear at all. And again, I tell people, you know, it's an integration of everything. Of course, we not walking around always in fear, because when that's your main, you know, vibration that's occupying your being, then, you know, again, that's like a disconnect from our higher self. But we do have small levels of fear. Cause matter of fact, I did speak to that on about Soul Eater, where, you know, like, where one of the things they preach on there is like, well, you know, you don't want to become, you know, fearless. Yeah, because the demons was like, I could show you how to be fearless, you know, and have no fear and this and that. But they was like, damn, I forgot because it was like, oh yeah, because like when you completely fearless, like you just get yourself into a place of just giving up your where you just too, how could I say, reckless. That's kind of what they were saying. Like, you're too reckless in your actions and what you do, where you may, like, you know, end up transitioning, like, and just fucking over your body because, you know, you lack fear. But with that vibe, I see, like, well, part of it was to kind of promote like with a lot of these things, is honestly, it's just in essence to confuse the fuck out of us in a lot of cases too. It's just like, let's just say stuff over here, you know what I'm saying? But again, that's why I follow in our heart, you know, and you know, deprogramming ourselves so we don't just fall in line with all these little constructs. But let's see. In my world, you have nothing to fear. You know, and it's like healthy levels of fear. I always spoke on, like, and again, and not even using it just to, because we don't want to word play on the word fear so much. You know, you could just say, you know, it's like an awareness level, like, where I know not to put my hand, like, so, you know, say for instance, our bodysuit has a certain level of awareness, or you could say fear, because again, the root chakra deals with our bodysuit. The bodysuit is our shelter of our soul. You know, it deals with fight or flight. And again, with you know, with making sure I keep up with my little bodysuit, you know, again, I'm not just gonna put my hands on the stove or put myself in a situation that's gonna, you know, obviously, you know, harm my bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? And again, that may not necessarily be fair, but we could just call it, you know, low level, a small level fear, or healthy, you know, a healthy amount of fear, you know, in essence, you know, where you don't necessarily, again, walk around in fear about my bodysuit, and man, this could happen to my bodysuit, that could happen to my bodysuit. No, you know, it's not that type of level. That's why, again, I don't like associating with that, you know, with the word fear on that level. But, you know, it's just a certain level of awareness that your bodysuit has to make sure that it maintains itself enough for you to do whatever it is in this movie that you came here to do. And matter of fact, with that little part with the creator talking and that vibe of like, well, you know, I created this just for you, and this realm this is real. This is, you know, that's basically them trying to program us to trust this, whether it's like a demiurge or whatever creator god of this matrix. I tell people, you know, you got the source of everything, of just all that is, but then you got like a creator god that's over, like, you know, this planet, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's the little trick of what's trying to trick us, and what we dealing with right now is that, creator God of this little realm right here, which a lot of people like to think of it as, Lucifer, you know. But I just know I'm not into idea whether it's Lucifer or Shoo Shoo or Joe the Blow, like Willie Foo Foo, like what that's Menace. Don't be a menace or Menace Society, like Willie Lump Lump. Don't care his name, Willie Lump Lump. Like whoever it is, they trying to keep us in this, in this matrix. And that's basically it. And then they kind of just to kind of brush on a few other things right quick, kind of exposing to a certain extent HARP in the movie Truman Show, showing how they was creating weather, like whenever he was going here, all right, let's make the waves do like this, or make the sun shine. And then at one point it was like, fuck, it was nighttime. He's like, turn the sun on, and turn night daylight. Everybody was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all the actors was like, what the fuck going on? So you got that vibe as well, so it's kind of like creating weather. Matter of fact, it was also to expose that energy, but it was also something else down. Yeah, matter of fact, they was creating the weather to keep him from discovering the truth. And basically, again, this was an analogy. So when he was going through this storm, weathering the storm, or basically going through the dark night of the soul, going through that turmoil of, like riding those waves, and, here it is, like, I think that struck him with lightning and all that, like, but he's like, fuck that, the pressure that makes a diamond, because at the end of the day, what happened, I think I gave a spoiler alert already, but anyway, Truman got to, leave out of that place. Matter of fact, because when he got to the wall, he got out of both at the wall. They had some little stairs with a door, and that also represent, again, stepping up the tier in consciousness. Now he done conquered the subconscious waters and reached the end of the firmament. And matter of fact, I just did a video about how the seven heavens or the firmament. Matter of fact, shout out to Brother Sanchez for speaking on that energy, but like a certain little doors, and because, say for instance, there's a door where when we get to a high vibration, the doors for our soul to ascend are shaped like a circle. But if you've been boxed in by the stuff of this matrix, when you transition, your soul gonna be shaped like a square. And when it go to this hole to ascend, it's gonna like it won't be able to fit through. Like bam, it's gonna fall back down, into that realm of existence. Compared to like where you get your soul right, then bam, you could go through that into this next tier or this next heaven, that they have. But again, that door represent that as well. But again, like walking up the stairs, and then and that last little moment where he's like, "Come on, Truman, you wanna stay here." It's like, pieces, my brother. I'm out. There's also an example of the heartless manner in which the people who try to control things, the government, operate, what it, again, like trying to kill Truman just for the sake of not letting him win, or triumph in this show. Is like, oh, fuck that, flip the boat over, this and that, what I'm saying? Again, whatever it could be. Then again, the boat reaches the end of the firmament or the dome, and he starts trying to beat through it. Matter of fact, yeah, the first thing he started doing was just like beating the wall, and then, it's a little stairway in the door, and again, this doorway and the stairs symbolize walking up a tier, tier, T-I-E-R, but raising up to the next tier of consciousness, to a higher level. And again, now that he knows more of the true story, and just like all of us, there's still more to learn. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was like, all right, I done did this little show. I'm going to this. And matter of fact, and it was a door, and it was open, but it was dark. You couldn't see nothing in it. Again, stepping into another, unknown. And that's where a lot of the freedom is at. It's where a lot of soul liberation is, in them unknown, areas. And matter of fact, I see. Oh yeah, and this is one of the last things. And this is one of their key words. This is one of their social engineering words. Hope. It was blaringly obvious at the end of Wrinkle in Time, where it's like, and having a lot of hope. Man, fuck some hope. Hope don't do nothing. I hope that you do better. It's like, that's the most powerless statement as a God, as a creator. Hoping is one of the most lowest levels of, words we could express, but they constantly trying to make, that's like the key little, again, these little social engineering phrases, what I'm saying? Like hope. And it's like, basically, I forgot how he said this. This is a TV show, that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you gonna get the out of here. You know what I'm saying? And again, just like the government, the director of the show uses euphemisms to make it seem like it's not fucked up how he did Truman. So basically, like how the government do us. Again, this brethren, the director, like using all these. Oh, this show gave people hope and joy and inspiration. Me fucking over you, gave other people. It's like, bro, go ahead on with that. And again, seeing that whole aspect again, like the Skinner box, indirectly, not only them trying to reinforce a certain mind frame, but again, indirectly initiating you into the knowledge of seeing, like, yeah, this is what we doing to y'all ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now we getting to a point where, again, it's important for us to, to know about, this aspect of our spirituality, because this is one of the most important parts. All is mind. We manifest this physical realm with our minds, and more so with the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind. The conscious mind could say, I'm not scared of crawfish, but then I throw a crawfish by that person. Like, shit, bro, get that crawfish away from me. Thought you said you wasn't scared. Reason why? Because the subconscious is traumatized. So regardless of what your conscious mind say, it's about what your subconscious mind say. So we have to work to, again, deprogram the subconscious and reprogram it, because that's what manifests as our physical world, point blank, period. I mean, matter of fact, to kind of come at the conversation of like Brother Panic will speak on it sometimes, as far as like you're not like trying to get these business plans. I'm gonna do this for the community and do that for the community, all those things, not saying those are necessarily bad things, or but the real, the real way to change our reality and to, deal with what's going on is to realize the importance of our subconscious mind, acknowledge that the reason why we falling victim to manifesting the realities that we manifesting is because of the way our subconscious is, programmed and wired. So it's about, again, deprogramming our subconscious and reprogramming it, because once you get your mind to a state of where you are controlling it, then you could manifest 30 social programs that could help the economic system in the neighborhood. Because again, don't forget how I just said, just like the Truman Show, Don't forget that this is a show, and being an actor in a movie, you don't want to get too involved in the role you're playing in this movie. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, if you feel like that's your purpose on the soul level to kind of implement, you know, some type of economic plan, let's say, but it's still for you to know that, all right, even though I'm, you know, this is what I feel moved to do, but I know that I'm in a physical matrix. You know, I am sourced on the human experience, and this is just the thing that this is, you know, what I signed up to do in this movie, you know. Like, but this is all an act, this is all a movie, and some people are trying to make you think that this movie is really real, you know. Like, and it's not. This movie is a simulation, you know, you know, act out, play our little parts, you know, and realize that we were playing a little part, you know, because some of us are like, you know, whenever you don't realize that you're acting a movie, and you think that you really are, you know, the role you're playing in the movie. So that's like the example of like, if after training day, if Denzel walked around like constantly acting like his character from Training Day at all times, you know, that's the equivalent to a person not, you know, like trying to be like feeling like this physical matrix is the end all be all. It's like you trying to, you know, stay the actor that you are in this movie. And again, what I just finished talking about, like how Truman Show hinted to it, like this ain't nothing but a movie, and the certain creator of this movie, of this show, you know, just wants the ratings, you know. And you think about how too, where there is analogies of like how there are certain beings, kind of like how there's like a little snow globe, and certain beings just watching us, you know, in the snow globe, and certain beings like I got $1,000 that Universal wake them up with this video. Gotta be in right now betting on what I'm doing in this movie. You know what I'm saying? I got $1,000, Universal. Wake them up with this one here. I got $10. Say you down, Like, you better bet on me. All y'all up there watching us, all y'all viewers. You know what I'm saying? But again, you don't want to be stuck in the movie. That's why I made the reference to that video I did about Chuck E. Cheese, you know, being stuck in Chuck E. Cheese with the lights off. You don't want to be stuck in Chuck E. Cheese with the lights off. You see how scary those little Chuck E. Cheese characters look when everything up and running. Let alone if it was closed and you were the only one with the little mannequins, you know. You don't want to get caught up in the show. That's why when actors done with the movie, they leave the set. They go home. It's just this matrix is not home. You know, kind of like being an actor. You know, passing through on our little job as an actor. You know, it's a little act. That's the gist of it. You know. And again, I'm feeling more and more the vibe leaning towards exposing that fact that, you know, like exactly like the Truman Show. The Truman Show is a very close, you know, analogy, you know, as far as like when you look at the Truman Show and like him living under this bubble and everybody, you know, make it rain here, make it do this over here, you know. It's like, just it makes a lot of sense. That's basically it, y'all. I don't want to make this to where y'all don't even look at the information, but I had to share every little aspect of what I was, you know, feeling, thinking, coming across, you know. Matter of fact, and this being the second part, you know, to the first video, you know, definitely watch the first video. I speak on the information with this the brethren exposing the so what it was just the first video was a government guy, William Cooper, exposing the Bilderberg plans for this silent war, you know, and this is what we're dealing with, you know, a silent war, you know. It was like called Quiet Silent War or Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars or something like that it was called, but you know, that's what we're dealing with. But I can't even talk no more, man. In fact, did my due diligence. It's time to smoke some herbs. Time for me to deal with my little prop in this movie. You know what I'm saying? I smokes herbs. My character in this movie smokes herbs. You know, if you didn't know. But again, and with all that being said, you know, only, you know, whatever takes from this video, what resonates with you, and leave what doesn't. But you know, leave it at that.